sex. Pay me. She's alright, but I'm the best. Damn right, that's right, I'm always right. I sleep all day and I fuck all night. Pat on my nose, check the mirror for the white. Check the 8 in my pocket, cause my jeans so tight.
That's the son of a loaded gun. Chain gang, fuck shot.
Now I'm on a cloud and I'm dancing in slow motion. Let it die down, baby, drag me to the ocean. As I hit the brakes, the K-hole shakes. Broke through with the dope in between my legs. Violin played with my hair so coarse. These drugs I got, I stole from a horse.
Fell off my feet. I'm from elemental danger. Was it you? Cross the street with a dagger in your hand. You and me, lock down. Look out! Yeah.
and welcome everybody once again to another glorious evening here at the Overwatch Watchers Brawl. We're hoping to have a very exciting game for you folks going on here tonight, taking place between the teams of OWB2 and Spectre Leviathan. Worth noting that this is the losers bracket semifinals, so quite a bit on the line for these two teams here. But for your casting pleasure, I am going to be Sir Waltham, and a little bit of a newer face sitting at the desk here with me. We're going to be having Captain Jack. Captain, you want to go ahead and say hello to the people?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Absolutely. We're certainly more than happy to have you. Additionally, sitting at the desk, I would be remiss if I didn't introduce, as usual, our pre-game interview. We are going to be having Dark from OWB2 here with us. Dark, how are you doing today?
I'm good, yourself?
I'm doing pretty all right, ready to see some solid Overwatch play, and I think that there are some animals here also ready to see that gameplay as well. But looking forward, you guys are going against Spectre Leviathan. Both teams getting knocked into the losers bracket and coming back up with 4 wins or four wins with a loss somewhere in there, not necessarily in that order. How are you guys feeling in terms of this game here tonight?
I think we should. It should be a fun game to watch. I think it's gonna be pretty even.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I think that both these teams are capable of some very powerful gameplay here. I look forward to seeing it personally. Now, we are going to be starting onto Busan. Are there any kind of, I don't want to say strategies, is there anything you guys have been working on in terms of overall gameplay? Just that your team has noticed, maybe something as simple as communication or synergy, anything along those lines?
I think as the tournament has gone by, I think we've improved a lot. On Busan, we've been practicing a lot of Torb, so you might get to see that today.
I certainly like it. I'm hoping I can call this the Atlanta Reign team. I'm hoping to see a little bit of a Defran in this gameplay right here, but that might be wishful thinking. Well, I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself. I've been debated before, Dark. I've been debated before. Now we are just waiting on one of your players, it seems. It looks like that's going to be... Which player is it that we are currently missing?
Glizzy.
Oh, and Glizzy was the one, I believe we had talked about it last time we had a pre-game interview with your team, that they play on the controller. They were playing on, I believe it was a Wii Pro controller or something along those lines.
Funny story. We actually all chipped in to buy him a new Xbox controller, so he should be fine today.
That is teamwork at its finest. That's a team coming together for their players. I like it. You got my attention with that. I love the team play. But moving forward, obviously we have the Twitch MVP vote that we announce at the end of every game, barring some forgetful minds from the casters, which it happens. It just happens. But is there anybody that you think we should be keeping an eye out for? I know that last time we kind of were hinting at the supports. What's your opinion? You can say yourself if you want, my man.
I think you should keep out for Mr. Nesbitt.
Okay. All right, absolutely. Definitely have to be keeping an eye out for that player. Hopefully, you're going to see some massive pop-offs here. But despite the team still trying to get together, I'm going to go ahead and let you get back to your team. I'm sure you guys have a lot to discuss before we get cracking on with the first map. But thank you once again, Dark, for coming in here, dealing with my banter a little bit and answering a few questions.
No problem.
All right, good luck out there. And with that... Now, Captain Jack, we are going to be going on to Busan for our first map, as I did mention a little bit earlier. How do you feel about this map?
I am absolutely in love with Busan. As soon as it came out, it became a map that I just fell in love with. The way that it was designed, between the architecture that was used inside the sanctuary area to going even into downtown Busan, and then of course Diva's home, the mecha base, is just an incredible feat all around. Being able to have the movable defense that goes around that point is always something that teams have to be looking at when they're going into a fight there, because you never want to essentially be caught with your pants down, so you throw a Diva Bomb in there, but you're not watching when those walls are supposed to be coming up, which there are visual and audio cues that will tell you when they're coming up and coming down. So if you time it just right, you'll get yourself in a good position, but if not, you end up leaving the enemy team completely defended and able to continue securing that objective. So hopefully the teams will be looking out for things like that. I'm sure since we're not playing Capture the Flag, they won't do any cheeky Lucio wall riding that I've seen a lot of during the competitive Capture the Flag. It has been crazy on the Busan marketplace, but hopefully I'm looking to see, it was mentioned Torb, definitely an interesting pick for that tier of play. So it should be very interesting to see what these two teams come out with.
Absolutely, of course. Busan having a little bit more variability in its capabilities to play more than just these standard goats. I think that this is probably one of the more Hammond-friendly maps, one of my favorite characters in the game. But that aside, it also, in the, I want to call it the market sub-map, you also have the potential for that high ground to have a lot of snipers, a lot of different potentiality coming through. Mecha base perhaps a little bit more standard. Sometimes we'll see a couple snipers, but overall, again, the diversity can just come through in a number of different ways, which is, I mean, honestly, typically what we tend to see with these King of the Hill style maps.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and see what our teams are going to be coming out with here in the near future. The assembly is already finished. Looking on the side of Alt 3, we've got Dark coming in with the Reinhardt. No secondary tank for their team composition. Looks like they're going a triple DPS comp with Lunaru on the Torb, Mrs. Nesbit on the Symmetra, and Glitzy on the Sombra. Oh, nope. They're gonna debate us like usual. Looks like Mrs. Nesbit switching over to the Zarya. Lunaru on the Zenyatta. So going the triple heals instead. Glitzy's still on the Sombra, and Raylene and Stringy on. Oh wait, the fight's starting and they're already switching things up as we see Spectre Leviathan already moving into the objective right there, coming out with the Goats comp with Sakatoa, McConqueror, and Flare on the tanks. Got him abilities, and Marshy coming in on the heals. First kill already coming down for Sakatoa onto Dark as they go ahead and push the team back. Lunaru ends up getting the DMAC onto McConqueror as Glitzy gets the kill onto Marshy, but that's not going to be enough to push Spectre Leviathan off the point, or will it, as they rush right back in. Mrs. Nesbit getting the double kill onto Gotham. And abilities right there as Glitzy takes out Sakatoa, and Flare falls to Mrs. Nesbit as well. Looks like we're going to go ahead and see Alt 3 take control of the point, 19% to 7 and climbing. What do you got, sir?
Yeah, overall, I think that Glizzy playing perhaps a little too anxiously on that Sombra. It looks like the rest of Alt 3, perhaps trying to rush that before the swap could really come through. Sombra just being used for scouting. But we're going to see how this next fight develops as the Graviton comes out.
That was a very interesting use of the Graviton. Not really a lot of follow-up on it. They did get the DMAC onto McConqueror right there. Lunaru getting the kill onto Sakatoa as Raylene ends up getting the kill on McConqueror. And that's going to go ahead and push the team all the way back to spawn. Alt 3 is still getting the percentage climb right now, 40% and climbing to the 19% of Spectre Leviathan as they go ahead and move back to the point. Mrs. Nesbit getting the kill on abilities right there, right outside the spawn. Gonna stagger them from pushing back into the point. They've hit the 50% mark right now, kind of playing around the Stonehenge right here, holding a very close to the enemy spawn. Here comes the Graviton out from Flare right there, as well as the rally out from Gotham, looking to do some damage. Transcendence also coming out from abilities. Diva Bomb going into the back line from Raylene. Doesn't end up getting much of anything thanks to all the healing coming down, but Lunaru ends up taking down Sakatoa. Mrs. Nesbit getting the kill on Marshy. It is all in Alt 3's favor right now as it is kill after kill on the scoreboard for them. First team kill of the evening as they hit the 80% mark right now. Sir, what do you got?
Yeah, it definitely looks like the ults were perhaps planned just a hair better from Alt 3. Zenyatta Transcendence being used a little bit more conservatively as well. Mrs. Nesbit doing well to build up that grab, almost at equal pacing with Flare, despite Flare having a fuller charge at the beginning of the fight.
All right, well, there's the double shatter coming out from Sakatoa and Dark right there, not looking to get a lot of follow-up in either direction. Sakatoa taking out Mrs. Nesbitt to start things off right now. It's 5v6 as overtime is ticking away right now for the side of all three. Diva Bomb coming out from McConquer, ends up taking down Glitzy as McConquer gets Dark as well. That's 3 tanks down as they retake control of the point, 22% and climbing to all threes, 99%. Spectre Leviathan is not out of the fight yet.
Yeah,
Sir,
absolutely. It's looking like Spectre Leviathan not necessarily in a bad spot here either. They did manage to conserve a few ults. Of course, the Zarya grab as well as the Transcendence we're going to see coming out right now.
all right, double Gravitons, double Transcendi coming out from both teams, but the more guys. Oh, did I see a double Shatter too? Goodness gracious. Ults coming all over the place as they move back into the point. Dark going to get the first kill on Gotham, though. To start things off as they move back in, 53% and climbing. Diva Bomb coming in from Raylini. Ends up taking out abilities right there as Dark takes down Sakatoa. Mrs. Nesbitt getting the D-Mech on McConquer as well as taking out Flare right there. Lunar following up on Marshy. And this may be us seeing all three retake control of the point. Overtime already ticking away as they are at the 99% mark. Dark taking out Gotham, and that is going to be an objective cleared for the side of all three to start us off tonight 1-0 on Busan.
Yeah, I had my reservations at the very beginning. Glizzy, as I mentioned, getting perhaps not the full opportunity to regroup with the team of Alt 3 as they may have needed, but they were able to recollect themselves. And once we saw that recollect happen, it really allowed the team to kind of push full force, put a lot of force behind that spearhead, with Dark as well as Mrs. Nesbitt, really just kind of providing the leverage that they needed to win those battles.
And this has been something that we've been seeing a lot of lately, not just in Overwatch League play, but even in a lot of my own comp matches, seeing the modified goats with the Sombra. Because if you get that EMP in the right place and you have a Sombra that is competent in their skills, being able to get 5 or 6 even with the EMP, that is disastrous for the enemy team. So let's go ahead and see if they can pull it out. It looks like Glitzy still not confident in using that Sombra. We are going to see McConqueror, though, switching over to the Mei, looking to use that freeze as a defense. The Fire Strike coming out from Sakatoa, going to take out Glitzy as well as the Hammer taking out Dark right there. That makes 3 as the pin ends up hitting Mrs. Nesbitt right there. And
Yeah,
even
and
though
it
the
really
point
does kind of
point
really
is unlocked right there, they're going to go ahead and back and retake that point. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, it definitely shows in terms of McConquer really playing that make, putting up those walls. If Alt 3 does not make a decisive decision to either pull out or commit, one of the teammates will get sectioned off, and that's not the space you want to be in. Neither will this fight right now.
Woo, that was a dangerous position to be in. Walling off one of the possible exits right there allowed them to use the shatter from Sakatoa, and Sakatoa and Gotham just cleaning up the team with hammer and flail right there. 24% and climbing right now for Spectre Leviathan, not looking to be out of this match here on Busan just yet, looking to take control of the mecha base if at all possible. It looks like Dark and the rest of all three gonna go ahead and push in. Got him popping the rally right now, looking to get some damage into the team as well as healing up the rest of their own. Just playing a poke battle right now. Stringy playing on the high ground, doing that Reddit Lucio that we all know and love, kind of wall riding any which way they can. Here comes the rally out from Glitzy as well as the shatter out from Dark. Ends up getting the triple right there. The shadow also comes out from Sakatoa, but ends up getting absorbed. Glitzy taking down Sakatoa to start things off right there. We see McConqueror trying to use the wall as a defense, use the freeze as a deterrent, but Glitzy going to use the flail to take out Gotham. Raylini following up on McConqueror right there, and we may be seeing all three take control of the point. Raylini taking out Marshy right there, and that is going to be a point control over to all three as they get the percentage climb to 3% to 79.
Yeah, indeed. And I think one of the key factors there was the difference in Earth Shatters. Dark being able to leverage those angles just a little bit better than Sokotoa, really able to get more members knocked down and more kills off the back of it.
Whoa, that was an interesting combination of ultimates right there. got him using the flail to take out Glitzy at the beginning of that fight by smacking him right off the edge of the mecha base. So it's already a 5v6 fight, but Dark getting the quad down and following up on it, ends up taking out Flares. Mrs. Nesbitt takes out Sakatoa. Lunaru following up on Gotham right there is now a 5v3 fight. Make that 5v2 as Lunaru takes down McConqueror. It looks like that's going to push back the rest of the team abilities, going for the hard reset right there. And it looks like one teammate will end up getting back to the safety of their team. 47% and climbing for the side of all three, looking to catch up to that 73% of Spectre.
Yeah, and Alt 3 does have a little bit more wiggle room here in that if they end up losing the point, they do have a bit of time, about 30 seconds or 20 seconds to really kind of, compose themselves and get it flipped back in their favor. So I think that they're going to be playing a little bit more comfortably than they might otherwise if it was at a 99 to 69 situation.
Well, that was an eaten graviton there by Raylini as we see the follow-up coming in from Mrs. Nesbitt. That ended up soaking up a lot of the team. Glitzy using that flail and doing a lot of damage as they continue to hold control and meet the objective percentage and surpass 83% and climbing to the 79 of Spectre Leviathan. This is probably going to be the last fight from Spectre, pushing in right up the point. Here comes the Blizzard out, but it's going to get eaten up. Once again, Raylini just hungry for all those ultimates. That Shatter going to go ahead and stop the rest of Spectre from moving into the point, and all three walking away with our first victory of the evening here on Busan.
Yeah, and once again, I think that really came down to tank ultimates there, particularly on those Reinhardts. We saw Dark able to leverage the Earth Shatters quite a bit in comparison to Sokotoa here. As I say that, of course, we're going to be watching a play of the game with Sokotoa getting a triple off the back of an Earth Shatter, but I think wider spectrum. Overall, Dark playing perhaps a little bit smarter around that shield, always waiting for Sokotoa to be distracted at an off angle or to be dead, to where there was nothing to block that shield. And overall being a little bit more ethereal, a little bit more mental with those Earth Shatters, really allowing the team to collapse and capitalize on their opponents.
That's one thing that I've always noticed about Ryan players, even myself when playing Ryan. You're always itchy to get that Shatter into the right place. And most of the time, it's just a misfire. But if you wait, like you were saying, if you wait for those fire strike moments, if you wait for the time that they're distracted, maybe pointing the shield a different direction than where you're coming in from, those are the opportunities that you definitely got to take advantage of. If you are just now joining us, welcome to the watchers as the tournament continues on. We are in the semifinals for the losers bracket tonight. Busan was our first map of the evening, all three going ahead and taking the victory on that to start things off against Spectre Leviathan. Both teams coming in 4 wins and 1 loss right now, so it is honestly anybody's game tonight. What have you been seeing tonight, Sir Waltham, that you think may be leaning you in the direction of one team or another taking the victory tonight?
Well, as I've said, a lot of it is tank play. Really having the opportunity to make those openings can really kind of be a boon to the team that is able to utilize that angle. However, that being said, tanks, especially in this meta, uncontestedly in this meta, really are set up by that with the support play. Obviously, the Reinhardt's great, but he's so much better when you have that speed boost from the Lucio to get him up in the face of the enemy. He's so much better when he has a little bit extra armor from that Brig to swing for just a little bit longer without having to throw his shield up. If they're running a Zen, the damage boost can help optimally and really help push the enemy team back because they don't want to take that extra damage. So I'm going to talk a lot about the tank play, but it's only off the back of some really well-coordinated support play that's really kind of enabled, and we can see that kind of breaking through here. However, looking forward, it's looking like we're going to be seeing the bans come through from Spectre Leviathan, obviously getting to ban a hero from Alt 3 from the winners of last map, as well as pick the map, and it's looking like Zarya going to be banned on the side of Alt 3, and we're going to be heading to Eichenwald. How do you see that happening or going down, Captain Jack?
Well, Zarya is definitely a big hit for the GOATS comp, but if you see for the side of Alt 3 banning for Spectre Leviathan, they saved Lucio and banned Hanamura right there. Okay, so they made sure that the heals, the AoE heals that they have from Lucio is definitely important, but banning Zarya definitely going to be a huge hit for all three, especially as strong as Mrs. Nesbit was on. It's absolutely huge in the way that they were playing. The Gravitons were timed precisely not to get eaten up right there, but Raylene holding their own against Flare right there has been definitely a defining moment for this team. It's possible that they might end up switching to more of a dive goats comp to try to supplement for not having the Zarya in play, but honestly, we won't find out until we actually get in there. So let's go ahead and see what our team's going to be coming out with match here on Eichenwald.
Yeah, indeed. If you have listened to me ever talk about Eichenwald in this tournament ever, you'll know that it's one of my favorite maps, that and Lijiang, because it has probably the highest potential for us to see Pharah. And I just love aerial combat. I don't know what it is. It might be the third dimensionality that it enables, but I'm really hoping we're going to see maybe a little bit of Pharah come out in that on either the defending or attacking side. Questionable about how well it works in bunker comps, as we've seen many teams kind of get stopped against a bunker comp that's able to just hustle down into the little inn library hotel area. I don't really know what to call it, near point, and it really kind of reduces that effectiveness. But I think we're just gonna have to see how it all kind of pans out here. In fact, it looks like the team of Alt3 might be prepping for it. In fact, Nesbit going to be hopping right onto that flying Rocketeer.
We are going to be seeing the Far Mercy coming out from Mrs. Nesbit and Lunaru. Also with Dark and Raylene coming out on the Rhine Diva combination right there. Stringy also coming out on the Lucio, and Glitzy looking to use that Sombra for this map. Definitely going to be important using the two off heals for this portion of the map, keeping those hacked as much as possible. Going to be huge, but we're going to see the Goats comp once again coming out for the side of Spectre. Leviathan staying on their rolls from Busan, looking to see if they can use it to their advantage, knowing that Alt3 does not have the Zarya to depend on. Pharah doing damage in the sky. Mrs. Nesbit looking to get a shot, a DMAC something. Marshy going to take out Dark to start things off. Already 2 ticks for the side of Spectre right there, looking to get the third as they're holding contested right now. Stringy and Mrs. Nesbit getting the kills on abilities, and Marshy right there, but Sakatoa got him, and Flare going to go ahead and clean up the point with McConqueror taking out Mrs. Nesbit. Sakatoa taking out Lunaru and claiming the objective as their own. Go ahead and start moving that payload with 3 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, overall, very expeditious. Perhaps a little bit of Sombra play to be desired. Glizzy getting to hack onto 2 key supports, the Lucio and the Brig, for that Goats comp. Not really able to have the team of Alt3 really capitalize upon those hacks, however. In fact, I believe it was Marshy actually getting the first opening kill as a hacked Lucio that kind of opened up the fight for Leviathan. So perhaps something a little bit to look forward to if you're on the side of Alt3 in terms of openings that they may be able to improve upon.
And that's always something that's incredibly difficult as a Sombra, trying to get those quintessential picks for the right hack. Like, obviously your goals either like Diva to not fly away or on the Rhine. Whoa, who's gonna get a big boop by Stringy right over the edge to get that shield down. But not all the time will you end up pulling that off. Looks like Mrs. Nesbit switching over to the Widowmaker without that shield to defend the team, getting the triple kill off of the Squishies and tank line for the side of Spectre. Leviathan, the only one left near the objective, going to go ahead and pull back to the rest of the team as they go ahead and prepare for their next push. 4 minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, absolutely. Mrs. Nesbit looking lethal no matter what weapon they're wielding. As I say that, abilities just getting their head absolutely taken off.
Up, and here it goes once again. The EMP coming out from Glitzy. Going to be headshot central right now as Mrs. Nesbit getting the double kill. Stringy and Dark cleaning up the rest of the team at a close distance right there. And Marshy, probably forgetting being hacked means no wall ride, ends up falling to the bottom of the canyon right there, resulting in the team kill that leaves them once again down a team fight and down about 45 seconds as they push right back into the point once again. 3 minutes 30 seconds on the clock. Sakato and the rest of Spectre looking to get that advantage, getting booped off again by Stringy. Goodness gracious. We're going to see the Diva Bomb coming in from Raylene. Doesn't end up getting much of anything. McConqueror finding themselves at a... wait, whoa, what? What just happened there? Because those were not boop kills.
It looks like it may have just been a quick trip to spawn, courtesy of the bottomless pit here. Stringy Place absolutely performing solidly with the environment, really making the map design of Eichenwald work for the team. A real boon to their team. As I said, support play essential, but you know, fragging play from the support players equally impressive.
I love those boops. Always love me some boops on maps like this. 2 minutes 40 seconds on the clock right now. Spectre Leviathan pushing the payload right back into the checkpoint. Here comes the Graviton out from Flare as well as the Diva Bomb out from McConqueror ends up taking down Glitzy. Transcendence coming out from abilities to try to keep everybody up. Marshy getting the boop kill on Dark as Stringy ends up taking out Flare also with the Canyon. McConqueror cleaning up right now, ends up taking out Lunaroo and Mrs. Nesbit. Abilities following up on Stringy, and it looks like that might be a second point captured, moving into point 3 with 3 minutes 35 seconds on the clock. Mrs. Nesbit going to be switching over to the Hanzo for this point. Sakatoa ends up getting hacked right there, but not taken out of the fight. McConqueror following up with the rockets ends up taking out Dark right after spawn right there. Gonna go ahead and stagger the rest of the team to the far spawn as they set up for the defense. 3 minutes 15 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams looking like they're getting perhaps just a bit too anxious, and wow, a fat EMP
and
coming
it's starting
out.
already again. Ended up missing Marshy with the EMP, got a majority of the team, but thankfully the beat drop from Marshy kept the team up and ready to get back into the fight. Not a soul lost so far. McConqueror changing that, getting the punch kill there on Dark as they push in. Transcendence coming out from abilities as they get the DMEC and kill onto Raylene right there. Flare following up on Glitzy after the hack. Marshy following up on Lunaroo right there. The only one left near the point is Stringy and Mrs. Nesbit and fall to Sakatoa right there. Dark the only one left near the point. Raylene getting pushed in as well. Marshy, Flare taking them down as soon as they get in. Diva Bomb shatters going down and a lot of lag. And not exactly for certain what's going on here. Flare ends up getting the kill on Stringy Place, and that is going to be a third objective claimed right there.
Yeah, definitely. Spectre Leviathan showing that not only are the kills crucial, but just keeping opponents off the point. We saw, I believe it may have been Gotham on that Brig, actually get a whip shot onto Stringy on that Lucio, knocking him further away, meaning that Stringy has to stress getting the cart more so than, you know, doing damage, trying to displace enemies, really kind of putting the pressure on Stringy to take a more predictable path that allows the team to collapse on them and really kind of capitalize on that urgency that has been built.
That is definitely something they have got to be looking out for. Ending that round with 2 minutes 15 seconds on the clock. They've given themselves a lot of wiggle room going into the next round if they cannot hold this defense. But based on the way that Alt 3 played on Busan, I will be really interested to see what they'll be coming out with this time around. Looks like Mrs. Nesbit switching over to the Genji for this fight. On the Sombra with Lunaroo switching over to the main. Heels taking on the role of Ana. Still going to see the Goats comp coming out from Spectre Leviathan, though, as they take on the defensive role. Sir, what do you think about Ana as a hard counter to Goats?
I think that it's very dependent. I mean, a lot of people who follow the GOATS metas really hard will know that there's kind of a triage of healers, Moira, Ana, and Zen, who are kind of run interchangeably. Ana very good against Moira. Zen pretty good against Ana because he's able to just get that high damage and burst the opponents down with the focus of his team. But it's really kind of a triangle. I think it's very situational as well as what players are most comfortable on which supports.
I completely agree with what you're putting down there. Looks like they're coming in with the dive comp. Dark switching over to the Winston. Raylini coming in on the Diva still as they go ahead. We're going to see some hacks coming in there, but not a single kill to be had. Just playing around the objective right now. Anti-Nade coming in, doing some damage on the team, but not a lot of follow-up. His abilities gets the first kill there on Dark. Spectre Leviathan pushing the rest of the team back to spawn to get healed up right there. Already wasting 50 seconds off the time bank right there, leaving them at 3 minutes, 5 seconds to try to push in. Dirk looking to get some damage into Sakato right there. Here comes the anti-nade and the shatter right there, looking to clean up right now. All three. Flare, Sakatoa just doing a whole bunch of damage. Raylini ends up getting the kill onto Sakatoa, but ends up getting taken out by Flare soon after. McConker ends up getting Glitzy, ending that fight. 2 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. Team with the spawn advantage, going to be able to push in rather quickly. Stringy using the res to bring Glitzy back into the fight early as they push into the objective. Sakatoa able to push in. The Graviton goes in, but there's nobody there to get caught up into the Graviton. EMP coming out from Glitzy as Mrs. Nesbit comes out with the blade. Double, triple kill coming out from the pro Genji right here. Make that a quad, taking out Flare as well. Raylini following up on Sakatoa right there. And we're going to see McConqueror soon get DMAC'd and taken out by Raylini and Mrs. Nesbit. That is going to be a point capture there. 2.5 minutes added to the clock, making it 4 minutes, 30 seconds to push into point 2.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of what you have to aim for with this comp. Ana and Sombra able to build up those ults so fast, so really if you're not able to cycle, if you're able to cycle them, even better. But one crucial thing that the team of Alt 3 going to have to be paying attention to is there's not going to be a lot to stop that Rhine Shatter. Worth keeping an eye out.
Triple Diva Bomb coming in from Raylini right there as Stringy ends up getting the kill onto Sakatoa. That's 4 down for the side of Spectre Leviathan as they push back, make that 5 as Mrs. Nesbit ends up taking out abilities as they retreat back, and the DMAC also coming down for McConqueror right there. Able to get back to spawn, but going to have a hard time rebuilding that mech as the payload already pushing past the choke point, going to the bridge portion of point 2. Interesting setup coming in. Here comes the blade once again from Mrs. Nesbit, looking to clean up in the backline, but the Transcendence ends up denying that from abilities as they push out. Here comes the Shatter. Ends up taking down 2, and they're cleaning up on him. McConqueror and Sakatoa taking down Glitzy and Mrs. Nesbit. Raylini ends up going for the hard reset right there. Sakatoa able to take out Stringy right before they're able to retreat. McConqueror just taking a little nap. As we see Alt 3 get pushed back to spawn. 2 minutes, 55 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Leviathan learned their lesson, saving that Zen Transcendence specifically for the Genji Blade, the Nano Blade as it is. Not quite able to prevent all the damage if the Genji is just hard focusing one player, but Nesbit perhaps looking a little bit distracted, not quite able to just grind down, and the Sombra EMP coming out massive here.
Woo! That is going to be a 5-man EMP right there, and Dirk and Glitzy are following up on it. Getting the double kill right there. Got him. Going to take out Mrs. Nesbit to keep things going, though. But Dark getting the double kill there. And McConqueror, Marshy getting the hard reset. Make that a triple kill, getting the boop onto Sakatoa right there. Going to end up getting point 2, adding more time to the clock. 3 minutes, 35 seconds to get into objective number 3.
Yeah, and this is probably where we're going to be seeing Alt 3 have a little bit, or have the most problems. Really, you like seeing the Rhine Zarya in this situation to really kind of fight in these tight corners, not as a diveable location. But we're going to see how Alt 3 plays it here.
Well, it looks like it's working out really well for them so far, getting the Diva Bomb kill as well as the Ana kill right there, moving into the objective. Stringy Place getting the boop onto Gotham as Glitzy ends up taking out McConqueror. They are within meters of the objective point, looking to secure. Sakatoa getting back to the point. EMP comes out, but the beat drop hit just before then. So gonna help keep the team up for the most part. McConqueror coming back out on the Hammond, gets the slam kill onto Mrs. Nesbitt. Stringy Place getting the punch onto Flair as well. Transcendence coming out from abilities, trying to heal the team and distract as much as possible as they end up getting the DMAC onto Raylini right there. Abilities taking out Raylini after the trans, and that is going to end up holding them right there. Marshy getting the kill onto Dark as they continue to push back all three right now. 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. They're going to go ahead and reset all three and take control of the payload once again.
Yeah, there was some fantastic ult interactions there. We saw the sound barrier come out from Marshy, then the EMP come out from Glizzy, effectively canceling out the sound barrier for 4 or 5 of the teammates. Then we saw the Dragon Blade coming out from Nesbitt, who then just got pummeled into the ground by McConqueror. Overall, it's just a bunch of ults that were kind of all over the place.
Woo! That was a triple anti-nade going into that right after the shatter, so Sakatoa and the rest of Spectre could not follow up on that. Mrs. Nesbitt getting the Storm Arrow kill onto abilities right there, pushing into the point. Dark following up on Gotham right there. Is a 4v6 fight. Here comes the slam in from McConqueror, but Diva Bomb going into the back line. Raylini taking out Flair with the Diva Bomb, getting the remake and going right back into the fight. Here comes the Dragon Strike, looking to get something, but really just creating space for the payload to move back in. Here comes the minefield out from McConqueror, looking to make some space for the side of Spectre. Dark ends up taking down McConqueror. Here comes the tire out from Glitzy, who ended up switching without me noticing at least. Here comes the trans out from abilities, looking to distract and heal up the team as much as possible as they continue to fight for control of the payload. 1 minute left on the clock. Sakatoa getting the charge kill on Stringy Place as abilities, and McConqueror getting the triple kill with the double slam onto Glitzy and Mrs. Nesbitt and Lunaru. Goodness gracious, staggering right now. Raylini, the defenseless mini diva, gonna get tackled and staggered right there. 40 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. McConqueror synergizing well with Sakatoa to really get that ground pound set up at the same time as the Earth Shatter. So you take the Earth away from them with the Shatter, then you slam them right back down into it. You like seeing it, and I think the results speak for themselves on that play.
It was absolutely beautiful. 25 seconds left on the clock. Here comes the Graviton out from Flair as the beat drop gets brought in by Stringy, looking to keep the team up. Here comes Dragon Strike out from Mrs. Nesbitt, looking to get somebody, as well as the tire out from Glitzy, just looking to clean up right now. Glitzy ends up taking out Gotham, as well as McConqueror falling to Raylini. They're looking to try to get back and touch the payload. It looks like Stringy Place gonna go ahead and push in. Diva Bomb coming in once again from Raylini, ends up taking out abilities right there. Glitzy getting the passive kill onto Sakatoa as Marshy gets the boop kill on Miss Nesbitt. Marshy following up on Lunaru right there, fighting for control of the point right now. It looks like we're going to see Raylini trying to continue to fight for control. The minefield gets placed behind him, ends up taking out Dark as Dark takes out Flair right there. We're going to see Glitzy coming back out as the Hammond as well. So now we got 2 hamster balls rolling right around the payload. It's spin to win, folks. It's spin to win right now as Glitzy looking to get some kills or just create some space right around the payload. Ends up getting slammed and taken out by Sakatoa, who switches over to the Winston now. Lunaru switching over to the Moira to get back to the point, and it's not going to be enough. Spectre Leviathan taking away their first victory of the night, making it 1-1 tonight in the loser bracket semifinals.
Yeah, overall, I think that it was kind of how I expected it to go, without that Zarya really to run that synergy with the Rhine from alt 3 in those tight castle side 0.3 maneuverances. It was just too hard for alt 3 to really just kind of capitalize. I think Raylini playing a very good diva. I think every time she launched the bomb, we saw it get at least a kill or two. But it just didn't seem like it was quite enough, not quite enough synergy in those cramped, closed-in spaces to really kind of capitalize with Dark. I think that there's not much you can do when it's banned, but maybe exploring your options otherwise, trying to get some high damage leverage in some other ways to replace that Zarya.
That was definitely something that I found incredibly interesting as well. It always seemed like Raylene had the Diva Bomb ready for just about every fight, if not every other fight, and just not being, as you said, not being able to place that in the right position for Alt 3 to be able to take advantage of that. Did get at least one kill on, but not able to follow up on the rest of the damage that the bomb did. Really ended up hurting them in the end, as they ended up losing to Spectre Leviathan during that last match there on Eichenwald. Looking in the chat right now, I find this Sharkfin Live saying it's Soak-a-Toa. Do these guys not know trigonometry? Well, in the Midwest where I grew up, it was Sakatoa. That's how we taught it. It's just okay. Well, maybe not for my wife up in Illinois, but in Kansas where I grew up, it was definitely Sakatoa. That's just the way that we taught it there. But looks like everybody's having a lot of fun watching in the stream right now. If you're interested in continuing, go ahead and hit that follow or subscribe button there at the top of the page. Get you all the information on the newest videos coming out from the Watchers. So 2 matches down. And sir, what are you seeing from both now that we've seen a victory from both ends of the spectrum here?
I think that kind of what we just saw happen in Eichenwald really goes down to how close these teams are in skill. You see that the Zarya really gives you a lot of leverage in that third point Eichenwald, and without that leverage, Alt 3 just not quite looking good enough. They looked competitive with Leviathan up until that point, and then it just kind of fell apart for them. So I think that the bans are going to be pretty crucial here. And also, shout out Sokotoa. I know what's up. I feel you, my tank brother. I was talking with Captain about it earlier. I got you, my man.
No worries, no worries. All right, so looks like Jark going for the main shield on the side Leviathan, as they end up banning Reinhardt for this next map here on Lijiang Tower. We're going to start off in the control room. Huge area of play right here to use a dive composition, especially with a lead Hammond being able to do that spin to win there in the center. Just creates if the synergy is right, can create a lot of space and do a lot of damage for either team that takes that on. Looking at Spectre Leviathan right now, it looks like they are going to, with a pseudo dive, Sakatoa taking on the Winston with McConqueror on the Mei. Flair still taking on the Zarya for this fight. But we're going to see Goats come right back out, though, for the side of Alt 3. So let's go ahead and see if they have what it takes to be able to take away control on Lijiang Tower. Starting off as they go ahead and put both teams pushing into the objective. The wall coming up from McConqueror, trying to separate the team as much as possible. Got him trying to get some flail hits in there, as well as Glizzy trying to get some shots back and forth, but not a single kill to be had by either side. Ooh, the boop! Poor Stringy onto Sokotoa right there as they were trying to get healed up from the health pack. Definitely a hard position to be in for a Winston with no jump. It is a 5v6 fight, but that is not preventing Spectre Leviathan from still fighting for control of the point. It is actually currently in their favor right now, but still not another kill to be had. Quad shatter coming down from Dark right there. Mrs. Nesbitt, Dark, and Raylene cleaning up 3 of the members of Spectre Leviathan. Gonna push the rest of the team back to spawn and go ahead and take control of the objective, starting their percentage climb 3-0.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Alt 3 looking extremely comfortable on this map. Lunaru actually using a Coalescence mid-fight and then already having another one up, courtesy of the grab by Flair, really just able to pour a bunch of healing into that. Overall, just Alt 3 looking pretty comfortable.
That was an interesting change of ultimates right there. Mrs. Nesbitt able to get at least 1 kill on for the side of Spectre Leviathan right there, but thanks to the blizzard coming out from McConqueror, prevented some of them from following up on the Graviton that came out from Mrs. Nesbit. Stringy able to get the kill there on abilities as Dark gets the tackle on to Marshy. Mrs. Nesbit following up on Gotham right there. Gonna go ahead and push Spectre Leviathan right back off the point, 45% and climbing right now. Sir, so looking at how the teams are set up right now, it seems like they're having a really difficult time trying to hold dominance on the map without the Reinhardt. Do you think new goats-ish composition that they're going to be coming out with now with McConqueror switching over to the Hammond, do you think that's going to help them?
It's going to be hard Hammonds, at least in these initial hallways that we're seeing Alt 3 hold in. Not really able to get a whole lot of height in those kind of ceilinged areas, so not really able to leverage his ground pound as much as he might like. I think it's a unique choice. It's very good for trying to burst through this doorway, but its effectiveness is a little bit questionable to me. I think we're just going to have to see how McConqueror plays it.
Well, after that triple kill to start beforehand, here comes the Graviton. As McConqueror gets the boot kill on to Lunaru right there. Got him getting the double kill right in there. McConqueror following up on Mrs. Nesbit, going spin to win to try to keep Raylini off the point. Marshy follows up with the boop, and at 98% for the side of all three, we're going to see Spectre Leviathan go ahead and take control and try to hold that forward defensive position near all three spawn. 10% and climbing right now.
Yeah, not the worst spot for Spectre Leviathan. They still have a couple of ults, well, now half of their ults online. With Gotham going to be popping that rally, we're going to have to see how this fight shakes out.
This is back and forth right now. Dark coming out with a shatter, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Stringy Place using the B drop to try to go against the Primal and Rally coming out from Gotham and Sokotoa right now. 34% and climbing for the side of Spectre. Here comes the minefield out from McConqueror looking to do some damage. Blitzy caught up in the middle of it, trying to flail their way out, but not going to be enough as McConqueror coming in literally like a wrecking ball ends up pushing them right into a mine in the minefield. Ends up getting a slam onto Stringy Place as well to continue that climb. Flare ends up taking out Dark. 3 down. Mrs. Nesbitt getting a hard reset near their spawn area. Going to be a difficult position for them to continue to hold right there. 62% and climbing for the side of Spectre Leviathan to all threes, 98%.
Yeah, Marshy really going to have to be on their toes to really anticipate the Graviton going to be coming out from Mrs. Nesbit. Really the only thing to counter it, as there is no Zen to prevent the massive damage.
Oh goodness, well the Graviton Diva Bomb combo definitely going to work out when you don't have a Ryan to turn around that shield. Raylini getting the triple kill right there despite the beat drop coming in from Marshy. Stringy Place takes out abilities as Flare gets hard reset, and that is going to be a switch of control back over to Alt 3 right now. Overtime ticket away to 92. Minefield and Primal Rage coming out for both coming out for the side of Spectre Leviathan. Spin to win coming out for McConqueror. Marshy ends up getting the first kill to start things off on Dark right there as they continue to fight for control of the point once again. The healers and tanks just holding on for as long as possible. McConqueror spinning and trying to get some hits, but Raylini ends up taking out Flare. Mrs. Nesbit following up on Marshy, and they
Get back in the fight.
point. Oh no!
Yeah, unfortunate.
Oh, that is such a horrible position to be in.
Yeah, you really hate to see that kind of thing happen. Spectre looking like they perhaps just got a little too discombobulated. Perhaps the communications between who was supposed to be rotating on the point weren't there, or maybe it was something as easy as just getting displaced by a booster boop from Raylini. So overall, I think that that's kind of what you expect when you can't run that Reinhardt on this map. Overall, that's probably one of the most Reinhardt favored maps here. But I think that both teams definitely still have the potential here to pick it up.
Well, it looks like we're going to be seeing a similar goat style comp coming out for the side of Alt 3 now, as we see Dark switching over to the Winston for this fight. Going to be interesting to see what they end up doing with that. it looks like Spectre Leviathan kind of split up as to how they're going to go over to the point. McConqueror coming in with the Pharah, Flare coming in as the Widow, and got him on the Genji. So we see a triple DPS coming out for Spectre Leviathan right now, looking to maybe use that DPS to their advantage. Glitzy and Lunaru already falling to Flare's scope as they push into the objective. Control the point as Flare gets the third kill there onto Dark. Got him, taking out Mrs. Nesbit as well as Raylene right there. And we're going to see Spectre Leviathan go ahead and take control of the objective right here on Gardens, 5% and climbing.
Yeah, and this is a kind of a smart comp to be coming out here from Spectre. You got a lot of angles you can attack with. The Genji able to dash and zip around a lot more agile. McConqueror able to take the skies, as well as Flare having the opportunity to play at arm's length. You definitely like seeing those multiple angles of attack.
I definitely know some players maybe thinking to themselves, like, what kind of composition is this? This is like all my placement matches or whatnot, based on the fact that they're going triple DPS. But we're playing with, these are masters level players. So if they're going triple DPS, they're doing it for a darn good reason. But it looks like it's not going to be enough to keep Alt 3 off of the point as they go ahead and take control, 3% and climbing now to 37%. We've got a pause in the game. I'm going to assume that we are having some connection issues. As I like to remind everyone, groups like ours are not the Overwatch League. We don't all play in the same area with dedicated servers to keep us online for the entire fight. So please hang with us as our crew tries to figure out what exactly is going on in the background, and we will get back to the fight as soon as possible. So far, sir, we've seen the swap over for Alt 3 as they come in with a similar dive comp. Mrs. Nesbit switching over to the Widowmaker to try to get some shots as well. Glitzy getting some hacks and getting some kills in that backline, especially working on Gotham and McConqueror. We're on pause. What do you think about the swap and comp? Do you think that's going to allow them to hold control at this point?
I think it will certainly help. Nesbit going to be on that Widow, going to be a very potent, perhaps, antidote to McConqueror. However, this Dragon Blade might prove to be the counter to Miss Nesbit, so we're going to find out.
All right, well, Gotham ends up taking out Stringy Place to start things off. Flare following up on Mrs. Nesbit, but Miss Nesbit taking out abilities right before that fight. Raylene taking out Marshy on the Mercy as Gotham gets the dash kill onto Lunaru, so both Mercies out of the fight. Primal Rage coming out for Dark ends up taking down McConqueror. It is 2v2 right now on the objective, trying to fight for control. We're going to see Mrs. Nesbit switching over to the Tracer to get that speed and distance onto the point. Ends up coming in EMP as Glitzy ends up getting the double right there. McConqueror getting the double as well onto Glitzy and Stringy Place. Diva Bomb coming down right now for Raylene. Doesn't end up matching on much of anything as Mrs. Nesbit taking out Marshy right there. Raylene getting the punch kill on to McConqueror. Still contested, but it's not going to be enough. 65% and climbing still for the side of All 3 as Dark ends up taking out Sokotoa.
Yeah, and I think that if you're Spectre Leviathan, you might be a little bit frustrated at that. There were so many opportunities where that fight looked like it was going in their favor, but Alt 3, they knew the ground they had to hold. They held it, and they didn't give it up. I think that there was certainly a lot of temptation. Oh, we're down 2, that Pharah really put us down at advantage, but they managed to stick the ground and turn it around. Raylene buying a lot of time for the team and eventually pulling it out. I think that was well done cohesion on all members of the team.
Absolutely. Got him getting the first kill to start things off on to Mrs. Nesbit. Coming out with the blade, getting the double on the healers as McConqueror switching over to the Hammond takes out Dark. Glitzy also falling to the Gotham blade. As well as Marshy. Getting some mercy kills in here. Taking out Mini Raylene right there. That's going to shore up control of the point for them. Spectre Leviathan climbing once again 48% and up to the 99% currently hold by Alt 3. Gonna be a for them to continue to hold this because they're not gonna have a lot of time to push back in if they end up losing it. So right now we're seeing a very forward defense coming in from Spectre Leviathan with the long shots coming in from Flare, looking to do some damage. Transcendence coming out from abilities to negate. Nesbit, EMP now coming out for Glitzy. Ends up getting a majority of the team right there. Dark ends up taking out Marshy. His abilities falls to Stringy. Lunaru following up on Flare as well, so mercy kills on either side right now. Sakatoa coming out with the Primal Rage, but getting hacked and taken down by Raylini right there. As they reach the 92% mark, they're going to end up getting taken down. The hack immediately coming in onto Big Conqueror as Glitzy gets the kill using the or just the, it looks like they were just flying in actually from Marshy, trying to get in to get the res off, but not going to be enough. Right now, the only one distracting on point is Sakatoa, but it's not going to be enough. Overtime ticking away, and it looks like we're going to see Alt 3 walk away with the victory here on Lijiang Tower.
Absolutely, and a player of note, at least in my opinion, Glizzy, looking significantly stronger on that Sombra than we saw a little bit earlier in the series, or at least getting more key hacks on players in this series. We saw the hack come onto the Hammond, which required MC Conqueror to really get burned down by the team of Alt 3, which meant that the Transcendence had to be invested. And once the Transcendence was invested, it really kind of put Leviathan in a tough spot. It really kind of made them be down that ult that maybe they didn't necessarily want to use so early, considering there was still 40% left to climb before they took it over Alt 3. So overall, I think Glizzy doing a really good job to open up those fights. But folks, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I can, have been, and will be again in the future wrong as to who I think the most impressive players are. That's why I need you folks to tell me what's really going on. I need you guys to go ahead and for me vote in the Twitch chat who you think the MVPs are. Show the players some love. Show the casters a little bit of hate if you like. Or show me a little bit of hate. I don't wish that on Captain Jack quite yet. I haven't known him long enough. But
No worries.
Go in there. Say your opinions. Tell us who you think deserves to really be called out as perhaps one of the most pop-off players this series. Captain Jack, anybody you've been keeping your eye on for that?
I have to say, one of the players that I've really got my eye on so far is Dark. Just been doing an amazing job as that frontline Ryan. You always find those ones that have that perfect ratio of knowing when to be aggressive and knowing when to be passive and defend your team. And Dark seems to have that balance really well down. Sakatoa trying their best, but just not able to avoid those shatters that are coming in from Dark a majority of the time, just getting caught a little bit out of place. So definitely needing to work on making sure to always keep Dark kind of in their sights, so to speak, when you're going up against another Reinhardt. But after they've been doing these bans back and forth, makes it a little difficult to take care of that to start things off. But Dark really looking to be my star for this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot say I disagree. Dark looking solid. Their counterpart Sokotoa still playing very well, despite perhaps the tank ban picks, it seems, going back and forth. Both teams still playing to a very high degree. If my math is correct, which that can be a little questionable at times, I believe it is going to be Alt 3 taking the advantage here, up 2-1, which means that Spectre Leviathan going to get to pick another hero to ban on the side of Alt 3. And let's see, it's looking like at least we'll be seeing from the side of Alt 3 Route 66 get banned, meaning if we're going to see any payload maps, they're going to be Dorado. And they're going to save Lucio, which is a common pick we see in these types of situations. Lucio, a favorite to get saved.
Eating heals, always important, especially when you're using Goat's comp. Looks like they're going to try to take out Mrs. Nesbit once again by banning Zarya. And put on your shades and get ready to walk on the Hall of Fame, folks, because we're headed to Hollywood.
Indeed, if you like arrogant VIPs getting toted around in limos, then, well, let me tell you, we've got the map just for you. And the map just for these two teams coming up here. We are definitely ready to see them get going. Looking like Alt 3 going to be staying on the same side, staying on the defending side to start doing us casters a big favor. I always hate having to switch the teams up, get the names all mixed up every once in a while. So thank you very much, all three. I know you're probably doing it for other reasons, but we appreciate it.
Definitely. Being on the defense also helps whichever team is on top to kind of give them an idea of, okay, this is what the team did to us. Now we know kind of where we have to set the bar. So if they set a high bar for the defense, they can end up finding themselves perfect position. But based on the way that the last payload map went for them when they were on Eichenwald, they could be finding themselves a little bit in a difficult position, especially without Mrs. Nesbitt on the Zarya this time around once again. We will see here in just about 30 seconds what they're going to end up picking. As Sir said, go ahead, blow up the chat with who you want MVP to be this evening at the end of the match. Let us know who you've got your eye on so that we can keep our eye on them as well. And let's go ahead and see what these teams are going to be coming out with as we start off here on Hollywood.
Indeed, Sir Jack. Indeed, or Captain Jack, I should say. Excuse me. And it's looking like perhaps a little bit of sniping potential here coming out from the defending team, Ms. Nesbitt. Perhaps going to be content not to be on that Zarya, and instead just up onto everybody's favorite pink-skinned French woman, or purple-skinned French woman.
Who doesn't love a purple-skinned French lady? Oh, come on! You just gotta love it. It looks like we're seeing. Well, of course, we're gonna get debated by the attacking team as usual. Dark switching over to the Orisa for this fight, not looking to use the Reinhardt without that additional defense. Definitely a pretty good pick for this first objective right here as they high ground control right now. Glitzy also coming in as the Junkrat, but it looks like we're going to see a Goats comp coming in for the side of Spectre Leviathan with McConqueror on the Hammond. Has definitely been doing a great job on our little rolling buddy hamster as they push into the objective, going for the long haul. Raylini distracting on the point as the rest of the team looking to get some kills. Glizzy ends up starting things off by taking out Gotham, but Marshy using the flail to take out Glizzy in return. Flair following up on Mrs. Nesbitt as Raylini takes out Sokotoa. 15 seconds on the clock. They're still fighting for that first tick right there. The anti-nade going down onto Flair from Lunaru, trying to keep the heals off as much as possible. Flair ends up getting the kill onto Dark, but ends up taking themselves out in the process as Gotham takes out Lunaru right there. They are still fighting for control at this point as they've reached the 3-minute mark. Ends up demeching Raylini right there and takes them out of the point, but gives them enough time to get Glizzy and Stringy placed back into the match. Just enough to keep them from that first tick. Honey, who got swapped in during that match, ends up taking out Stringy Place and got him, following up on Glizzy right there. And it looks like we're going to see an Objective A capture. Going to go ahead and add 2 minutes, 30 seconds to that clock with 5 minutes to move the payload into Objective number 2.
Yep, and as we might expect in this situation, looks like Dark going to be switching off that Orisa onto the Winston, able to just get onto the high ground a little bit more expediently, able to really just kind of position where you want to be, especially with Raylini. These two seeming like very good dive tanks, able to coordinate fairly well. We're going to have to see if they choose to dive any of the squishies here available on behalf of Spectre.
And the good thing about using this composition, especially with the Ana heals, is that they don't have to be on the high ground. Diva Mom, though, coming in for Raylini, ends up getting soaked up by a majority of Sokotoa's shield, but ends up taking out Gotham right there. Mrs. Nesbitt taking down the shield and Flair right there. The hack comes in from Glizzy, now switching over to the Sombra as well for this part of the map. Ultimate's coming online for both sides right now as they push right back into the objective. Raylini used it, and Mrs. Nesbitt using shots from the high ground to try to take out Sokotoa's shield once again. Here comes the slam out from McConqueror, trying to get them off the high ground, ends up taking down Dark, but will pull out as the Transcendence comes out for Honey, as well as the beat drop before Gotham right there, keeping Spectre Leviathan pushing right in. Sokotoa getting the kill onto Raylini right there to start things off as they use the Fire Strike to try to hit somebody, ends up missing everybody on the high ground, but the payload moving in. 3 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock, getting really close to objective number 2. And right now, all 3 just kind of know where they were. They were high ground, but not really paying attention to how far that payload was moving, I guess. Shatter coming in from Sokotoa, triple kill, coming in with that Fire Strike and Hammer Swing as they go ahead and clean up the objective right there. Got him, Sokotoa and Honey get the last 3, making that a team kill and objective capture. 4 minutes, 30 seconds now on the clock.
Yeah, Dark doing their best to absolutely prevent that hammer or that Earth Shatter coming through from Sokotoa, batting the Reinhardt away as the Q is activated. However, the Reinhardt going to be sailing midair so gloriously. Sokotoa going to maintain that composure and getting a nice slam onto, I believe it was 3 or 4 members of all 3. So still going to be effective despite almost being denied by Dark.
Oh no, it looks like we got a slip Q right there for McConqueror. Definitely going to be, I wouldn't say it'd be hard to get that all back up, but definitely going to be a pain in the butt for the upcoming fights as the EMP coming out from Glizzy right there allows all 3 to go ahead and push in, retake control of the objective. 3 minutes, 45 seconds. Thankfully, we do see Spectre Leviathan respawning fairly quickly as they currently have the spawn advantage for the objective. They're going to push right back in to the payload. Glizzy almost getting taken out, but using that recall to get out of there. Diva Bomb going to the back line from Raylini, but gets soaked up by Dark, or sorry, by Sokotoa and Flare right there, but it's not going to be enough. Shatter coming out from Dark ends up taking down a majority of the team, allowing Mrs. Nesbitt switching over to the McCree to do a lot of damage, as well as Raylini. They're going to stop that payload once again as it comes up toward the choke point into point 3. 3 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, Mrs. Nesbitt already having that high noon up, going to be absolutely crucial. Not necessarily in, well, rather the switch to McCree going to be crucial, not necessarily with that ult, but in the ability to break shields and really apply a lot of pressure and CC stun through the flashbang.
Woo! Well, that EMP going to take care of any shields that were up. The double kill coming in for Mrs. Nesbitt with the high noon right there, but McConqueror and got him getting a double kill as well. Honey and Flare following up on Glizzy and Raylini for that fight as well. Despite the EMP and high noon, they're going to continue moving that payload past the choke point. 2 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. That VIP parking spot looking super hot as we see all 3 push right back into the point. The hack coming in on Sokotoa, keeping that shield down for the fight currently. Dark trying to absorb as much damage as possible, but not going to be enough as the V-drop coming in for Gotham, trying to keep the team up. Diva Bomb going high, doesn't end up getting much anything right there. Sokotoa ends up taking out Dark though. Shatter come down for Sokotoa. Honey coming in with the Transcendence as Gotham takes out Glizzy. Flare taking out Lunaru right there. As we see the Doomfist now coming out for Mrs. Nesbitt, gets taken out by Honey. Marshy following up on String and Flare taking out Dark. We're going to see then go ahead and take objective number 3, ending with just about 1 minute, 40 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, overall, some solid play here coming through, particularly on the side of Spectre. And I think that they're just kind of showing really why the GOAT's composition, the triple-triple, is so lethal. It's not the most mechanically demanding composition in the game, but if you're able to utilize the team cohesion, the team coordination, and really put your force behind just pressing the advantage or peeling for your team or, you know, enabling Ryan's shield break, you could really activate those without necessarily putting yourself at as high a risk as you would with maybe some squishier or softer characters.
Well, I think one of the huge things for GOATs as well is that if you pick the right characters, which they've been doing, I mean, GOATs is literally designed to replace DPS for the most part. You've got Diva, puts out a huge amount of damage with the rockets. Flare, or Zarya, getting super charged up, able to keep that 70% or above, is essentially a DPS on their own with the amount of damage output that they get. And the Reinhardt with the Fire Strike and the Hammer doing about 70 to 100 damage per hit and shot, just able to replace a lot of the DPS and makes it a very up close and personal fight. You got to pick some very up close and personal characters to try to deal with that. It looks like Mrs. Nesbitt looking for the long shot approach as they come out with the Far Mercy once again with Lunaru. Going to use Glitzy still on the Sombra to try to get some hits, but Honey going to take that Pharaoh right out of the sky. Mrs. Nesbitt falling as Gotham gets the double kill onto Dark and Glitzy. Looks like it's all healers getting the kills for the side of Spectre Leviathan right now, as they have already wasted 30 seconds off the time clock. Alrighty, it looks like we're going to see them go back in for their next push right now. 3 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock, giving them some space to move past the archway. It looks like we're going to see all three take advantage of the high ground. Not many characters coming out for the side of Spectre Leviathan. They're able to jump up and down like that. It looks like they're going to go ahead and pull back, but I'm not exactly for certain why. Maybe just to get healed up, try to get some space between them and the defending composition right now. Glitzy coming on with the EMP, ends up getting as well as McConqueror right there. Got lost in one of the names. 2 minutes, 35 seconds on the clock. The Shatter coming out for Sakatoa, trying to take down some of the team. Gotham ends up taking out Glitzy as Dark follows up on Flare right there. Sakatoa and Dark going back and forth as the Ryan Winston, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Mr. Nesbitt using the barrage to take out Gotham. Here comes the Diva Bomb from Raylini, taking down McConqueror right there as the Diva Bomb also came out from them, but it's not going to be enough as it gets caught on the high ground, not able to do a whole lot of damage. 2 minutes, 5 seconds on the clock right now. Graviton now coming out for Flare. And the kill onto Stringy. Mrs. Nesbitt taking out Gotham though, so both Lucios are out of the fight. Sokotoa getting the double kill on Raylini and Lunaru right there as Marshy gets the kill on to Glizzy. And despite the long fight that they just had, 1 minute, 45 seconds left on the clock and not a tick to be had for the side of Alt 3. You there? Are you there, sir? You still with us? We're either having some issues on my end or we're having some issues on his end. Not exactly for certain what is going on, but I'm just gonna, in the meantime. All right, looks like they are having some mic issues. We're definitely having some difficulty for the side. To push into this point, EMP and Barrage coming out right now, but the Transcendence from Honey gonna heal everyone back up to 100%, as Flare was really the only one that fell during that fight. It is a 5v6 fight, but that might just be enough as Mrs. Nesbitt taking out Honey after the Transcendence. Raylini following up on McConqueror right there. Got him. Trying to hold on to the point as Lunaru comes in with the res onto Dark. 1 tick, 2 ticks, 40 seconds on the clock. That's going to turn it right around. Going to add another 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes now on the clock as they take objective 1 and start moving into objective number 2. Definitely seen, it's definitely seen that Dark is having a difficult time, or the team rather is having a difficult time trying to make the non-Rhine Zarya work for them. But right now, they're going to go ahead and keep moving right forward. Raylini getting the triple kill right there as Mrs. Nesbitt gets the 4th there onto Marshy. Going to go ahead and push back the rest of Spectre Leviathan as that payload starts moving past the bridge point. 2 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. I knew you could handle it, Jack. That was just a test. However,
didn't know there were going to be tests tonight. Goodness.
Raylini definitely getting that ult value you want to see. The 3 kills for 1 ult. That still leaves the team of Alt 3 with 4 ults in the pocket. Stringy going to be having that sound barrier as well in preparation for Flare. It's a very comfortable spot you like seeing as we see Lunaru pop this Valk and the EMP.
Valk, EMP, Barrage, and Primal, all the ults coming out right now and cleaning up Spectre Leviathan. The only one left is Sokotoa, but not for long as they chase them into spawn. Payload's going to be moving past the trash can and probably going to end up getting captured. Going to add another minute, 30 seconds, I believe, to their time bank. So another 3 minutes now to go ahead and get into objective number 3. So all three having a very difficult time on that first point, but it seems that once the payload got moving, they're not really being stopped. Do you think they're going to be able to get it in there, sir?
It's gonna be with its hassles here. We definitely see Spectre having quite a few ults online. Grab, Bomb, and Barrier all being activated at the same time, and we can see already the benefits coming from it.
That is definitely going to be a benefit. McConquer taking out Lunaru to start things off. Marshy following up on Dark, and McConquer taking out Glizzy as well. That's 3 out of 6 for the side of all three as the rest of them go ahead and pull back into spawn. Got him, taking out the mini diva Raylini, but the res coming in from Lunaru going to allow them to get the remech a lot quicker than that 10-second reset. 2 minutes, 5 seconds on the clock right now as they push right back into the payload. EMP going on in the back line, gets the double and the barrage coming out from Mrs. Nesbitt, gets the double kill onto Honey and Marshy right there. That's 2 healers down. Raylini following up on Flare as Flare takes out Dark. So it is a 5v3 fight as that payload gets a moving once again. Glizzy ends up staggering Sokotoa right there. Give them some space to move this payload into its third objective. 1 minute, 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, Dark going to be wise to take advantage of the ult information on Sokotoa, knowing that he has that Earth Shatter thanks to the hack from Glizzy. Hack, of course, telling the team, rather, who has what ults available in the duration of the hack. And a fat Earth Shatter coming out here.
Woohoo! Earth Shatter Diva combo. Honey not able to prevent all that damage from being done. Raylini just cleaning up the team right now with a minute left on the clock. Spectre Leviathan definitely got to find a way to hold on to this objective as much as possible. Shatter comes down, but it's not going to end up getting hacked out of it right before it ends up falling. Flare getting the double kill coming out as the McCree now onto Dark and Mrs. Nesbitt. Follow up on Sokotoa. Flare gonna take out Glizzy as well and got him. Gonna get the boop kill onto Raylini. 30 seconds on the clock and 1.73 meters left to be pushed for this payload as it starts getting moved back. Sir, do you got anything to say before this final fight?
Yeah, Mrs. Nesbitt, definitely watch out for Flare. Not only is the High Noon going to be online, but if you pop your ult, you're going to be a stationary target, a clay pigeon for that McCree revolver. You don't want to get hit by that at such a crucial moment.
All right, well, here comes out the EMP from Glizzy. Barrage and High Noon now coming out. The double kill comes out. Mrs. Nesbitt using the barrage to take out Flare mid-High Noon. I guess Clay Pigeons work in both directions for High Noon and Barrage. Diva Bomb coming down for Raylini, trying to clean up Sokotoa. Near the point right now, gonna allow Glizzy to take him out, coming in Dark ended up falling to McConquer right there. Glizzy following up on McConquer. The Transcendence now coming out for Honey to distract and heal on the point. Here comes in the tackle. Ends up getting stunned before tackling Glizzy to the side. Marshy taking out Glizzy as Flare coming in as a traitor. Takes out Lunaru. Overtime taken away as the minefield comes down and not able to get back to the point. Spectre Leviathan gonna tie up the series once again tonight. 2-2 here on Hollywood.
Yeah, that was a very intense final fight. I think that if the spawns were perhaps a little bit more even, or even a little bit in favor of all three, we see that fight go a very different way, but it's just due to the rapidness that the entirety of that attacking team, or the defending team rather, is able to get to point so quickly. There's just not much you could do once those snowball kills start to happen if you're on the attack.
I have to say, that play of the game, though, that was amazing. As soon as Mrs. Nesbitt heard "it's," just like, where? You see like that caveman SpongeBob, like, where is it? Where are they at? Oh, there he is. I'm going to get him.
That immediate flick to the McCree High Noon, absolutely.
That immediate flick to behind me. Oh, goodness. That was absolutely beautiful, Mrs. Nesbitt. Unfortunately, it just was not enough to shore up victory for all three. So we're going to go into match number 5 as the teams go ahead and figure out what our saves and bans are going to be for this final match. Go ahead, blow up the chat with who y'all want. I'm seeing love for both Spectre, Leviathan, and Alt 3 in the chat right now, but only one can walk away with the victory here in the semifinals. I'm definitely going to be interested to see which team ends up coming out on top right now. You can also go ahead, hit that follow and subscribe button there at the top to continue to support the Watchers group, as they seem to be quite an amazing community. This is my first night with them, but I am already loving the atmosphere and the coordination, not only of their teams, but the incredible group that they run here. So go ahead, give them your love, give them your support.
Absolutely. Give the players the support, the organizations the support. Just support everybody. Everybody in this world. Support everybody. But also, something we haven't seen so much before. Show some support for Horizon Lunar Colony. It's going to be our next map. This is a little unusual. Usually we see the assault maps get banned pretty quickly, but surprising we haven't seen 66. That's another favorite we tend to kind of see come through here. Eichenwald's pretty much been a staple. King of the Hill maps, everybody seems to feel comfortable on those, but Horizon Lunar Colony, I think I've casted only 1 or 2 games that have gone here, and I honestly could not be more excited for our 5th map to be taking place here. Definitely ready to see which team's going to end up pulling it here, but it is going to be Alt 3 picking a Hero 2 ban on behalf of Spectre Leviathan's roster, and it's looking like they might be leaning towards Zarya. So it seems like Zarya is going to be the pick they're going for, and Zarya, we've seen a lot of bans for come through for her, so maybe both teams recognizing how powerful one another are on that character.
Absolutely. Mrs. Nesbitt and Flair just doing an incredible job, not only with bubble management, making sure their teams are well protected at all times, but just staying incredibly charged up through a lot of different fights and being able to survive and walk back right into the next one and start doing a whole lot of damage. So the skill on either side for their Zarya players. The question is, though, based on the way that Sokotoa was playing last match, they were doing an incredible job with different Rhine combos. So can Dark and Raylene match the skill that has been coming out from Spectre Leviathan for their attacks here? Now note, with it being an assault style map, there is a possibility for a tie. A very small margin of percentage, but we could see a really long match actually end in a tie on this map. I'm hoping not, or maybe I'm hoping so. I would love to see a 6 map, to be completely honest with you, but we have seen lots of great action from both teams tonight, so go ahead, get in that poll, and is who have you been seeing playing spectacular tonight? Sir, have you been noticing anyone else that's kind of hitting your MVP vibe for the evening?
Oh, I have to be unbiased as a caster here. I would love to say that I've been enjoying these tank players, but I can't. I have to maintain that ambiguity. I can't hype up the tanks. I'm a tank main. That would be unprofessional. So I can't tell you that I'm liking the tanks, but I think you can assume what I'm feeling right about now.
I'm thinking you're feeling tanks. I'm thinking.
Actually, I'm looking at the Lucios right now. All seriousness, Stringy been playing very well on that Lucio. We're getting a lot of boop kills, playing the environment very strong on Eichenwald. I definitely don't want to undersell the supports here in this situation. Nesbitt coming out with a couple different picks that I think really kind of mix things up. So I think it's just coming down to what you want to focus on. Versatility, proficiency, kind of those clever plays. Really could go to a lot of different players here.
It is definitely going to be some interesting compositions coming in here on Horizon Lunar Colony. Looks like we're going to see Zen Mercy coming out for Honey and Marshy, as we now see Spectre Leviathan on the blue team for the defense for this fight. Blair and Gotham coming out on the Ash Junkrat, and McConqueror and Sokotoa on the Orisa Diva. For the side of Alt 3, looks like we got the Ryan Zarya combo coming out. Mrs. Nesbit with the Symmetra, as well as the triple heals, but it doesn't look like that heal's going to be enough. Blair getting the first kill onto Lunar right there as McConqueror getting the boost kill onto Mrs. Nesbit. Going to make it 4-6, and the rest of the team for Alt 3 going to go ahead and pull back to spawn as the defense sets right back up for the next push for Spectre Leviathan.
Yeah, Spectre playing this high ground pretty solidly. Reminder to those of you at home, Spectre switching colors, now going to be in the blue, with Alt 3 now going to be in the illustrious red. Flare playing pretty strongly on this Ashe as Lunaru just gets an absolute body shot.
Woo! That is starting things off well. We have seen a swap up to a pseudo dive comp now coming out for the side of Alt 3 as Dark switches over to the Winston, ends up getting taken out by Gotham's Tire, as well as the Bob coming out for Flare right there, looking to get some damage. Does a lot of damage, doesn't end up taking anybody out. Make that Sokotoa, ends up getting the double kill right there on to Glitzy and Mrs. Nesbit right there. Gonna go ahead and clean up the rest of the team that was near point. The res coming in for Gotham from Marshy, and that's going to be another setup and another minute wasted. 2 minutes now on the clock for the attack from Alt 3.
Yeah, and the ults, I guess, balance on the side of Alt 3 looking a little bit anemic here. Only about halfway to every player's ults, with the exception of Glizzy. So we're going to have to really see if they'll be able to overcome this ult differential here.
It's going to be a huge oof to start things off, using the concussion mine from Gotham to get the first kill there onto Dark. Gotham also taking out Raylini, and Sokotoa following up on Mrs. Nesbit. So all three tanks out of the fight. Healers going to go ahead and attempt to retreat, but Honey ends up taking out Glitzy, who ends up getting caught in the side room over there with only, honestly, one route of escape. Ended up getting cut off by Gotham and McConqueror right there. Ultimates, a lot of ultimates right now coming online. Spectre Leviathan, as we see Dark switching back over to the Reinhardt for this fight. I gotta say, it's always a little back and forth when it comes to ult management. Do you give it up or do you take it? Tire coming out, as well as Diva Bomb for the side of Spectre Leviathan. McConqueror getting the double kill on to Lunaru and Mrs. Nesbit right there. But Stringy Place getting the first kill on to Flare. Sokotoa following up on Dark as they try to get control of the point. And Valkyrie popped by Marshy and Honey as they heal the team right back up, get the res in on Flare, and set up for the defense with 30 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, I highly anticipate all three going to be looking to leave all the ults on the field here. Flare only going to have the Bob as an ult to kind of contest with. So I'm thinking that it's looking like the wise move might be for all three to just make a direct push onto point and really just kind of contest, force the comp to rotate to them. We're going to see if they end up going that route.
And that's exactly what they're going to do. The Bob's going to get thrown onto the point, as well as the trans coming out from Lunaru, looking to absorb as much damage as possible. Tire from Gotham ends up taking out Dark, and Raylini right there as Flare follows up on Mrs. Nesbit. McConqueror getting the kill onto Lunaru right there. The healers, the only ones left on the objective right now as they continue to fight and try to keep overtime ticking away as long as possible. That Reddit Lucio coming right out from Stringy Place, not able to get targeted right there as Gotham ends up taking down Glizzy. McConqueror following up on Stringy Place, and overtime is going to tick away. Not a tick to be had here on Horizon Lunar Colony for Alt 3.
Yeah, and one thing worth noting, Jack, is that there was no capture progress made on this first point, and we talked about it very beginning of this map, but that means that if no capture progress is made for Leviathan, we'll be seeing a tiebreaker map at Oasis. Yeah, we'll be seeing just the one tiebreaker submap on Oasis But I don't want to speak too freely here. I'm curious to see Spectre Leviathan probably going to feel a lot more comfortable if they can just break it away here, taking Horizon and then taking the series.
We shall see. We shall see. 10 seconds left on the clock to assemble their heroes and prepare for the defense and offense for either team. Go ahead and blow up that chat. Who do you want to see walk away with the victory tonight? It looks like for the side of and have a picks coming in for them, going for the triple healers still, but Flair taking on the role of the Sombra this time around with Gotham on the Genji, Sokotoa on the lone tank, Winston. Dive-ish meta, I guess, using the Lucio for the speed boost right there. Coming out, though, from Alt 3 has been a highlight for them all evening long without that superb damage coming out from Spectre Leviathan. We may be seeing a tiebreaker round, but we will not know until the map is finished 4 minutes from now. Taken away as we see Alt 3 retreat all the way back to the objective point now that they've got an idea of what they're dealing with. Sokotoa and McConqueror switching over to the Hammond for this fight, so they're going the 2-2-2 comp and do some damage. Dark ends up getting hacked out of shield as we see McConqueror in on the Hammond, trying to do some damage on the anti-nade that got thrown in by Honey. Sokotoa ends up taking out Lunaru, but Dark and Mrs. Nesbitt getting the kills on McConqueror and got him. Gonna go ahead and push back the rest of Spectre Leviathan back to their spawn point, or at least off the objective right there. It looked like they were going to retreat all the way back, but they're going to go ahead and get healed up, try to continue to hold advantage of that high ground with the mobile characters that they have. Now 3 minutes on the clock. The poke battle still going between high ground and low ground right now. Sokotoa getting healed up as the rest of the team comes in. McConqueror switching over to the Pharah for this fight instead of the little aggressive with Sokotoa, but can't do a lot. Here comes the Nano and on to Sokotoa, looking to do some damage as the Winston. Here comes out the Primal now as they get the triple kill with the Primal. Flair coming out with the kill onto Mrs. Nesbitt. The Diva Bomb falls from Raylene, ends up taking out Gotham, but it's not going to be enough as they end up getting hacked and taken out of mech by Flair. Taking out Raylene, and that is going to be the series. Spectre Leviathan winning Horizon Lunar Colony, taking the series tonight 3-2 against Alt 3.
Yeah, I tend to say it in a lot of these types of situations, but I definitely don't think that either team is going to be able to feel bad about that walking away from this competition here. Where we saw some excellent play come out of both teams. I think that they should both be pretty content with how they performed here tonight. It basically came down to what seemed like a game of inches here. We saw that last fight. It felt like went by for like 3 minutes or something along those lines. It just felt like it was a drag down knockout brawl on the point. And overall, it is a testament to these teams how competitively they're able to compete with one another. And again, I think that a part of it just came down to one team had advantage on, hero bans, and one team perhaps was a little bit more comfortable on a map. That being said, hats off to Spectre Leviathan. Despite being down or tied for most of the series, really pulling it through on that 5th map, perhaps not wanting to go to that 6th should a tie occur. I can't say I blame them. It's been a long series, I believe. This is perhaps one of the longest games we've had here. I don't know if we've had any other series go to 5 necessarily. But with that being said, looks like Sokotoa going to be hopping into chat. We will have our very own Captain Jack asking them a few questions here.
Sokotoa, welcome to
Hi.
the chat. Glad to have you here with us. So, how are you feeling walking away after a very vicious game against Alt 3, taking away the series there on Horizon Lunar Colony?
That was we were really hesitant at first because we didn't want to run any of our special comps, but in the end we just pulled it up, and then it's pretty, I guess, elevate. I don't know, like it's like hype or something like that, because we finally like pulled it out and we were like, yo, let's go, because we were like playing something that we're comfortable on. So it feels pretty good.
Absolutely. I have to say that that interesting combination there at the end was something that I honestly have not seen much of before. Seeing you come in as the Winston, getting nanoed, but then using the primal to follow up on the initial damage done by the electricity that you're outputting. Is that something that you all have worked on, kind of that flow of battle, so to speak?
Honestly, that's kind of just how I've played Winston a lot. So like going in at first and then baiting them, and then getting a nano, and then it's like a double bait, I guess. So like once I get me low finally from the nano, like a primal, and just continue trying to get them down. So
I have to say that strategy right there was just absolutely amazing for that last point. So during the evening, we were seeing a lot of back and forth between both teams. All three usually taking the lead, and then you all in Spectre Leviathan kind of catching up on the next map. What was kind of your strategy going into Horizon Lunar Colony? What was kind of the like, okay, we're tied once again. Every time we seem to be, falling back on the next map, and then we get it the next time around. So what was kind of the goal that you were going into HLC for?
mainly our strategies usually rotate around like trying to outpace or out like position a goats comp, and that's usually what like we're anticipating against, since a lot of people are running goats nowadays. So we finally just pulled it out, and it's something that we've practiced a decent amount on our scrims. So that's mainly it for that.
And that's something that we've been seeing very interesting between you two teams going back and forth this evening. Just the picks to try to take, especially Zarya or Lucio, out of the GOATS composition is absolutely huge. Like trying to find a way to replace that character that can do so much, not only so much damage, but so much protection for the team. It's just, it's very hard to replace at this very moment. So, additional questions you'd like to ask Sokotoa?
No. Overall, I thought it was a massively impressive game from all of you. I was talking a little bit earlier about how it seemed like both teams were pretty neck and neck for a lot of the series. It ultimately, in my opinion, at least on a couple of maps, came down to what seemed like just the hero bands being a little bit more advantageous for one team or another. The Zarya on Eichenwald really seemed to give, I believe it was all three, trouble getting through that third point. The Reinhardt perhaps similar for you guys on Horizon.
I think it was Li Jiang. Sorry.
You're right. You're at Li Jiang.
Yes, Li Jiang.
Absolutely. It's been a long cast for me, my
No,
friend.
you're fine. Don't worry.
But there. Oh, so this does mean that I believe your team will be going up against, if my roster is correct, Pinata Nation, who it doesn't look like you guys have played at all. Are you guys going to be looking to do any research moving forward against them?
I mean, I guess, but we don't really do too much research, so
Okay.
I can't really say. But I guess we can probably do it, since I believe the VODs are like posted on Twitch.
Yeah, these should be up for review for just rewatching if you like. Just perhaps going back and watching some of your massive pop-off moments if you just want to watch the last like 3 minutes of Horizon Lunar Colony again.
We do
But-
know one person from that team, so like we are looking forward to trying to catch them mainly and focus them. Just a small little hint.
A little bit of friendly
Just catch
bullying,
them.
I know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Sokotoa, thank you for well, first of all, putting up with our butchering of your name.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No worries.
But additionally, coming down and answering a few questions for us, we greatly appreciate it. We know that perhaps what a lot of people would prefer right now is to just decompress. So that being said, congratulations, massive congrats and kudos to you and your team. And we look forward to seeing you. I believe it'll be tomorrow here playing the losers.
We'll be
finals.
playing. Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Absolutely. You too. And with that being said, folks, right before we sign off here, we've been hyping it up. We've been telling you folks to voice your opinions here, voice your thoughts in the Twitch chat, and we do have our MVP for the game. And it's looking like it's going to be McConker, the man we saw running Hammond, gonna be the MVP for tonight. So, McConker, massive congratulations as well. Congratulations, Spectre Leviathan, on the win. And for your casting pleasure, I'm Sir Waltham. You can catch me on Twitter, Sir Waltham Gaming, or Twitch, Sir Waltham, and Captain Jack.
Also, you can catch me Facebook or fb.me/Captain Jack. The A's are 4s in that name, or you can catch me on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/Captain Jack 87. It was a great time being here tonight. Definitely Star MVP player McConker showing a lot of variability between tanks and heals tonight, doing an incredible job for our team that is moving on to the finals for tomorrow. So hopefully I'll be around to see it.
Absolutely. And once again, Jack, thank you for coming in and being a little bit of a guest caster. We hope to see you in the future. But on behalf of everybody here at the Overwatch Watchers Brawl, we want to wish you a good night and some good games, and stay safe, everyone.